I tell you what, it's amazing how Donald Trump can get people to bow before him. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has apologised to the US President for an anti-tariff advertisement that aired in Ontario. So the commercial used a series of clips from former President Ronald Reagan's 1987 national radio address in which he argued that tariffs would hurt America's economy. Here's a little look at the ad.
When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. But over the long run, such trade barriers hurt every American worker.
Well, it backfired spectacularly because Trump then suspended all trade talks with Canada and said he would impose an additional 10% tariff on Canadian imports. So Carney stepped in to apologise and said that he'd advised against the ad going to air. Here's what Trump said in response.
I have a very good relationship. I like him a lot. But you know what they did was wrong. He was very nice. He apologized for what they did with the commercial because it was a false commercial. You know, it was the exact opposite. Ronald Reagan loved tariffs, and they tried to make it look the other way. And he did apologize, and I appreciated it.
There is no one like him. And it is hard to think of anyone else who can just throw a tantrum, Joe, and everyone goes, sorry, Mr Trump, sorry.
It's amazing. Like, this is the thing with Trump. Like, this is why when everyone was saying about, you know, he was going to blow up AUKUS because of something that, you know, Aldo might have said, you know, 10 years ago or whatever. Trump is an incredibly forgiving guy. Like, as long as you go and say, look, sorry about that, he's absolutely fine. He did the same thing even with Rudd after the meeting where he tore him a new one. He said, all is forgiven, if we're to believe the report. So I'm not surprised. It wasn't actually Mark Carney's call. It wasn't a federal...
But hang on, why is anybody apologising about anything here? And why is nobody asking why Trump would demand an apology over something which was simply quotes from Ronald Reagan? I mean, this is the strange thing to me. First of all, Reagan said those quotes.
Yes.
Second of all, they're right. Third of all, they went to, you know, it was just an ad. Like, what the hell? Why is Canadian Prime Minister?
No. I don't think Trump demanded the apology. I think Carney sort of knew they were in trouble because of the reaction. But what I just enjoy, and the irony that the people that are making these ads that are anti-Trump, these are the same people that were against Reaganomics, that were against Thatcher, that are completely anti-neoliberal. You know, it is just these people. If they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all.
But that is totally not the point.
The villain is actually Doug Ford, who was the Premier of Ontario. He made the ad. He showed it to Carney. Carney said, don't do it, because it was clearly having a jab at Trump. He's a state Premier. What are they called? Provincial, Premier. It's not his job to tackle...
federal issues.
Federal issues, trade issues, that kind of thing.
Hang on.
He was just being nasty to Trump. And in any diplomatic circumstance, regardless of who's in the White House, having a go at the American president is a really silly, undiplomatic thing to do.
First of all, he was not having a go at the American president. He was having a go at Trump tariffs. And that's what the ad is about. Taking offence at an ad like that looks really, really silly for Trump. It makes him look like an idiot.
Funny thing is, he's the only bloke who seems to get away with that kind of behaviour.